Hi, let's talk about intellectual property and why IP is crucial for developing your business, both in France and overseas. Everything that constitutes the value of your business should be protected by IP, with trademarks, patents, designs, or copyright. Anything that can't be protected by IP, such as trade secrets or know-how, must be kept confidential and well organized within the company. First, IP is a legal protection to secure a competitive advantage and expand internationally. Protecting your brand on your markets prevents a competitor from using it or even registering it before you, which would obviously ruin your business strategy and create confusion with your customers. It is also impossible to fight against copies in a country without having a registered trademark or a granted patent valid in this territory. IP is also a valuable, intangible asset. It is a strategic tool for raising funds, bringing trust to importers or distributors, building the brand image, increasing reputation with customers, negotiating with partners, and generating additional income with IP licensing. The French IP office, so-called INPI, supports startups and SMEs to integrate IP in their strategy. The national and international networks of INPI's experts are dedicated to support French companies at every stage. Our international counselors are located in French embassies, covering the main export areas: North and South America, China, Japan, Korea, Southeast Asia, India, Russia, Gulf countries, and Africa. This international network is at your disposal for any useful support, such as explaining different IP systems, identifying appropriate IP protection, designing IP enforcement strategies, introducing to local IP professionals, supporting cases, and even organizing meetings with local IP authorities. Indeed, they are also developing close cooperation with the local authorities in every countries in order to improve IP systems and practices. So get connected with INPI to access to markets and build sustainable business success.
17 French-speaking countries, from Mauritania to Congo, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, have a common law in intellectual property, the Bangui Agreement, and a common office, the African Organization of Intellectual Property, based in Yaoundé, Cameroon. That is very interesting for you because a single application, patent, trademark, or design will protect you in the 17 member states and opens a market of nearly 185 million people. The Bangui Agreement has been revised to improve the quality of the titles. French office works closely with African organizations because we believe in the capacity of the office and in the importance of reinforcements to boost creativity and innovation in Africa. Awareness is now real in Africa. The revised Bangui Agreement improves the fight against counterfeiting. In Ivory Coast, you can find a national committee established by law to help you. Here again, the French Anti-Counterfeiting Committee is working closely to the Ivorian one to protect population and also in economic interest of French and Ivorian companies. From the application of your title to its defense, every step is important. French and African offices are there to support you. Little by little, intellectual property is taking its place in Africa. Don't forget it.
The first step to fight counterfeiting in China is to have IP rights in China. And to do so, it is necessary to register your IP rights, that is to say your trademarks, your patents, your designs, or your geographical indications in China. Don't forget that trade secrets can also help you protect your valuable information, such as formulas, business plans, or even manufacturing techniques. The second step to fight counterfeiting is to be able to detect counterfeiting. And to do so, it will be necessary for you to monitor the activity of your competitors or your potential partners. There are several ways to enforce your IP rights in China. The first way is through negotiation. Sometimes it can be useful to try and find an agreement with the alleged infringer, for example, to achieve the signing of a licensing agreement. Negotiation can also go through a letter of formal notice sent by your lawyer. The second way is to enforce your IP rights through administrative actions. An IP owner may request the local administrative authorities to begin an investigation and stop the infringing conduct. It can lead to the confiscation and possibly the destruction of the infringed goods, to the pronunciation of injunctions against the infringer, and possibly to administrative fines. The advantages is that administrative action is fast, it is inexpensive, and it allows for the collection of evidence. However, through administrative action, it is not possible to obtain damages. To do so, it will be necessary to go through civil action. For civil action, you should know that China has established a network of specialized intellectual property courts and tribunals that you can seize in order to obtain damages. When IPR infringement reach a certain financial amount, the law enforcement agencies of China can also take over the infringement cases and bring them to the Chinese court for criminal enforcement. The alleged infringers can then be criminally punished for patent, trademark, and copyright infringement. Also, do not forget that customs can help you enforce your IPRs. In China, according to the customs regulations, the Chinese customs have the authority both to confiscate products on import, but also in the export of goods that infringe IPRs. So the customs can do so based on a specific complaint by the IP owner, but also after that the IP owner has registered and recorded their IP rights directly with the customs. INPI has been present in China since 2004. Its objective is to support French companies with their enforcement issues, and this support can be both individual or collective. Our role consists in facilitating the relations between the French IP right holders and the Chinese administrative authorities. For example, last April, INPI organized with the French Embassy in China a training sessions for the Chinese authorities in the city of Chengdu, which holds every year an international wine and spirit exhibition. The objective of this training session was to give the floor to French IP right holders and their representatives in China so that they could explain the extent of their IP rights in China to the Chinese administrative authorities to help them better enforce their IP rights on the premises of the fair, but also in general. Thanks to our support, the French right holders and their representatives were also able to enter the exhibition site on the day before the exhibition inauguration to make first identification of potentially infringing products and to help them file complaints in a more efficient way during the exhibition. If you think that your IPR are being infringed in China, please contact INPI so that we can define together how we can help you to face it.
If I had to sum it up in one word, I would say anticipation. I will give now 5 important recommendations. Firstly, analyze the freedom to operate. This means that you must make sure that your business does not infringe the IP rights of third parties in Singapore and other markets that interest you. You will therefore have to use databases with useful information for the target countries. Secondly, remember to include Singapore and the other countries of interest in your strategy of protection as soon as possible. Think about the national route in front of IP offices like IPOS for Singapore, or international route through WIPO administrative treaties, as for example for the trademark, think about Madrid system, and for patents, think about the PCT system. And don't forget to meet the imposed deadlines. It would be a shame if you could not get a patent protection in Singapore because you will not have met the corresponding priority deadline or even have forgotten to designate Singapore during the opening of the PCT's national phase. Thirdly, adapt to local specificities. For example, in Singapore, the bad representation of the acronym R, meaning registered, is a criminal offense. The fine can be up to 10,000 Singapore dollars, so around 6,200 euros. You must have a registered trademark in Singapore. The trademark may be registered in France, but not in Singapore, so be careful. Fourthly, find out about local initiative. Specific initiative can be good to know and can be used if needed. IPOS will explain later about this for Singapore. Finally, don't not hesitate to discuss as soon as possible about your international projects with an IP attorney, IP agent or IP lawyer, and just as essential at INPI from France and even myself from Singapore, we are here to support you and help you better understand not only IP but also good practices to have. Remember also to remain vigilant over time about possible infringement of your brand's product and to take appropriate action if necessary. On our website, you will find also 2 useful guides in French, IP Management Guide for Business Manager and Go International. So don't hesitate any longer, think IP and contact INPI. IPOS remain also at your disposal in Singapore. See you soon!
Singapore is already a hub in many areas, including being an IP hub. We are ranked first in Asia and second globally for having the best IP protection in the 2019 edition of the World Economic Forum's Global Competitiveness Index. Singapore also came up top as the most innovative country in Asia according to the 2020 Global Innovation Index published by the World Intellectual Property Organization, Cornell University and INSEAD. We believe that being an IP hub makes it easier for SMEs and startups to bring their ideas and innovations to and operate globally from Singapore. The Singapore government recently announced the Singapore IP Strategy 2030, or SIPS 2030. SIPS is a 10-year whole-of-government blueprint that commits us to strengthen Singapore's position as a global intangible asset and IP hub, as well as to maintain Singapore's world-class IP regime. This way, we hope to remain attractive to innovative businesses and startups like yourselves. What else can Singapore offer you? Let me share with you 3 points. First, Singapore's IP ecosystem is well connected internationally. We are party to 15 WIPO treaties and connected to close to 40 markets via a network of patent work sharing arrangements. This network allows innovators to accelerate their patent applications from Singapore to major markets and vice versa. Closer to home, we are a strong proponent of the ASEAN Patent Examination Cooperation Program, or ASPEC for short. ASPEC allows you to similarly accelerate your patent applications from one ASEAN country to another. Taken together, these arrangements enable entrepreneurs to protect your IP assets with ease and speed from Singapore and through Singapore. If you have an eye for global expansion, Singapore is the place to be. Second, we continue to implement useful initiatives for businesses, especially for SMEs and startups. For example, to help innovators gain speed to market in a competitive environment, IPOS piloted the SG IP Fast Track program, which allows applications to accelerate not only their patent applications, but also their corresponding trademarks and registered design applications. In 2019, we launched the world's first AI-integrated mobile application for trademark filing called IPOS Go. With IPOS Go, we made the filing process more intuitive and fast-free. With the app, you can complete your trademark application in 10 minutes as opposed to more than an hour previously. Last year, we added new functions that enable you to manage your IP portfolio, including online renewals right from the app. You can rest assured that we will continually update our app as well as our other electronic systems to serve you better. Third, Singapore is one of the leading cross-border dispute resolution centers in the world. Based on the recent 2021 International Arbitration Survey, Singapore, along with London, emerged as the most popular seat of arbitration. We recognize that an effective and efficient dispute resolution mechanism is fundamental to the effective use of IP. At IPOS, entrepreneurs can tap on our Enhanced Mediation Promotion Scheme, which offers funding for mediation-related costs. And that's just a sneak peek to what Singapore has to offer. To find out more, please visit our website at www.ipos.gov.sg and don't hesitate to contact our INPI colleagues. I wish you a very exciting and fruitful time at VivaTech 2021. Thank you.